Do they love you? Spirit, for the viewer, can we have a look? The person that the viewer is thinking about, do they love the viewer? Are they in love with the viewer? Please. Are they in love with the viewer? Okay, bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands, the Page of Cups, the Eight of Wands, the Ten of Cups, which was the first card to come out, and the Nine of Swords. Before I start, let me show you my desk. These here are tulip petals, and I didn't put them on my desk. Stephen had put them here. And I feel that it is such a sweet gesture, not only towards me, but also towards all of you. I tell him daily about you, my viewers. So this is his way of sending you each so much love. I do not believe in coincidences, and this morning when I was thinking about what would I ask the tarot today, the question was very much clear in my mind that it would be, do they love you? And I would emphatically say yes. The Ten of Cups and the Four of Wands is very much giving me commitment vibes. I have often spoken about the Four of Wands to each of you. It is also known as the 1111 card, the card of divine counterparts. Yesterday we had spoken about birds, and of course there are birds within these cards too. But I also bet that many of you have seen number sequences such as 111, 222, and such like. Did you know that those numbers can tell you where you are on your journey and which timeline you are in? I am really curious to hear what repetitive numbers may come up for you. This is a card that speaks of stability and of commitment. And I have said it before, but the two little figures that we see dancing on the rooftops very much reminds me of the scene in Mary Poppins. And what is one of the most predominantly remembered lines in Mary Poppins? It is practically perfect in every way. And that's you. That is how they see you, as practically perfect. This tells me that they would like to settle down and have a home with you. Others have mentioned that this house almost looks like a tiered cake, and the silhouettes look like a wedding cake topper. And I can see that. And this card here, the Ten of Cups, if you were in any doubt as to does this person love you, the Ten of Cups is one of pure contentment. This is the card that speaks of a happily ever after. Your story might be intensely magical. Do you see that below the surface of the water, both of the bodies are formed, not as you would expect from seeing the upper body? I very much feel that this is saying that the both of you trust one another so immensely, that both of you have been able to share your innermost feelings and who you truly are with one another, and that you both are extremely accepting of one another. There is pure and unconditional love. I had made the Mary Poppins observation before really taking into account this Eight of Wands. I don't know if you have seen the movie, but this is exactly as Mary Poppins arrives, dropping out of the sky like a miracle. And once again, I feel that is how they see you, as someone who has landed in their life as a complete miracle. One of the traditional meanings of the Eight of Wands is speaking about being hit by Cupid's arrow, and this may have been a love that was struck instantly and easily. It could also talk about travel, and the two of you may be planning a trip together, or you may have a long-distance relationship, or they could be planning the honeymoon. This person definitely loves you. If the Ten of Cups and the Four of Wands is not enough, then we have the Page of Cups. This to me is the wild card in tarot. It means that anything could happen and to expect the unexpected. It is a card that most definitely speaks of love and emotions and dreams and wishing. You see the fish in the card. You will also see a fish in all of the traditional decks. I had mentioned miracles when we were looking at the Eight of Wands, and the fish is exactly that. It is symbolic of miracles that can happen. It is meant to be representative of the biblical stories of when Jesus broke the fish and the bread to the large crowd that had congregated to hear his parables, and they were hungry and needed to be fed, and he only had 12 loaves and 12 fish, which he blessed and then broke, and it was shared amongst his followers. So once again, I feel like this person really does feel like you are a miracle in their life. And actually, not to downplay a biblical story, but they also may believe that you are very practical. You can make a little go a long way. It's actually a very impressive skill. Maybe you have not had much in your life, but what you have created from it is so very impressive, and they have been touched very much by your resilience and your perseverance. We have the Nine of Swords, a card here that feels rather out of place to all of these other very positive and beautiful cards. It is a card that speaks of moral ethics and having to come to personal conclusions, finding your own perspective rather than worrying about what everyone else around you may say. I have seen this card numerous times, but I have to say, this is the first time that I have noticed her wedding band. This again very clearly speaks to me of marriage and of commitment. If we look at the background of the illustration together, we see the darkness turning into these beautiful spring blossoms. This is saying that the worries and the stress will pass. Any complications will be overcome and that you have much brighter days ahead. This could also be very indicative of how they felt prior to you coming into their life, and that you have been a bright ray of happiness, the spring to their winter. Let's conclude by pulling some oracle cards. Spirit, what do we need to know? We know that this person loves the viewer dearly. What else do we need to know about this person's feelings towards the viewer? The person's feelings towards the viewer. Okay, let's have a look. We have got bottom of the deck. We have got way shower, ancestors, fidelity, calmness, companionship, and clandestine. There is something about this that is going to be kept secret, and I'm really not getting that this is through malice. I feel that it's more that you are wanting to keep this as a secret between the two of you. This could be talking about some news, how your relationship is progressing, or something along those lines. To me, it feels because it's too precious to share, and somehow in sharing it feels like it might lose its value in some way. Maybe that has something to do with this Nine of Swords, other people's opinions. But this is speaking of a deep and loyal companionship. To me, this always looks like the bigger mushroom is protecting the little mushroom, one very much looking out for the other. And the both of you are so sweet and have similarities. In one another's company, you are at complete ease. This is pure tranquility. Again, it feels protected and something that you don't want to share with others. And then we have the fidelity card. This is speaking of devotion and loyalty. The plant here is called licorice root, but does it not look like two hands that have been joined? Your ancestors, your guardian angels, your spirit team, I feel like have brought this together. I also feel that you have had other lifetimes with this person. So for whoever this resonates with, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that this person loves you and wants something loyal and committed. A home, a handfasting, and perhaps even marriage. Of course, this is a collective reading, and if you would like to learn about how your person feels towards you, then there is a link in my bio to same day readings.